gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. If you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme. Push. Step. Crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, I mean, we've been slighted. And we want ours. And I don't mean by like ours, 40 acres and a mule, because we're past that. But we need help. I mean, for us to be on our own 2 feet, us meaning youth or us meaning black people, whatever you want to take it for us to be on our own 2 feet, we do need help. Because we have been here. We have been a good friend. If you want to make it a relationship type thing, we have been there. And now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for. You know, you dressed up in jewels. Now America's got jewels and they paid and everything. And they lending money to everybody except us.
Welcome to my channel. As you guys know, my channel is a place where we not only talk about, you know, the comedy, the fun stuff, joking around and things like that, but it's also a place where we talk about injustices, we talk about Black issues, and we talk about things that just need to be talked about. I have some notes so that I can stay organized and not ramble. First and foremost, I want to say rest in peace to George Floyd and any and every Black person that has died at the hands of the police, whether filmed or not filmed, brought to the media's attention or not. The first point I want to make is that racism is a mental illness. I find it very disturbing that individuals that hold hate in their heart for another human being, I don't see how that's not a mental illness. That is a choice and that is a decision. Even if you grew up with parents that enforced those beliefs in you, you make a conscious decision whether or not to obey what they have taught you and to practice what they have taught you. You were taught right from wrong, and hating another person based on something that they cannot control is 100% wrong. So, what is the issue? The issue is that Black people are not seen as human beings. It just seems as if the 3/5 compromise is still in effect and nothing has changed. I find it very disturbing that white people will treat their pets, they will treat their dog better than they treat Black people. They will wait hand and foot on an animal and still be disrespectful to Black people, humans. We can see that Black people are thought of as non-human because of the way that Black women are treated when they go to the hospital to have their babies.
Reputation is etched in history and on that statue in Central Park. Between 1845 and 1849, Sims began performing experimental surgeries on a 17-year-old slave named Anarcha. He eventually performed 30 operations on Anarcha and more surgeries on about 11 other female slaves. When his male colleagues could no longer bear to assist him in inflicting pain on the women, the slaves took turns restraining one another.
They think we're inhumane, so they say, you know what, don't worry about it. They'll be fine. We're not superhumans. We also see this in the way that the police handle us, smacking our faces into the pavement as if 5 people versus 1 is a fair fight. There is a desire to be Black without the side effects of being Black. It seems like everybody wants to say the N-word and everybody wants to listen to rap music and just wear dashikis and get their hair braided and be friends with Black people. But when it's time to be Black, and deal with Black issues, they're silent. I also find it very disturbing that there are a lot of white women that wake up every day and put on makeup that is darker than their skin tone, and Blackfish people to have a closer proximity to Blackness. They will get their lips done, they will get their butts done, they will darken their skin, they will get their hair in box braids, and then they'll date Black men. But all of those people are silent. Fashion Nova, silent. Asian corner stores, silent. Everybody that benefits from our money is silent. I feel as if white people feel like we can just get racists to stop being racist, and as if it's our responsibility to get them to treat us correctly. And I find this to be a form of gaslighting, because how can you not even relate to me and then try to tell me how to handle how I feel? If I get treated a certain type of way, if I didn't want to get treated that way, I would just stop getting treated that way. But unfortunately, that's none of my control. So telling us, oh, don't talk back to the police officers, put your hands on the wheel, don't resist, just don't give them any issues. Okay, when people put their hands on the wheel and they don't resist, they still get killed. So honestly, we know that it's not what we're doing, because when you comply, you can still die. I think the issue is that police officers don't go through diversity training, and so they are trained to be afraid of Black skin, when in reality, we're just as afraid of them, probably way more afraid of them than they are of us. I feel like the weight of the Black Lives Matter movement needs to be taken off of Black people's shoulders, and people need to stop having this mentality of pick yourself up by your bootstraps, because that is not gonna get us anywhere. We need to enforce the laws. We need to come up with laws that hold police officers accountable, and then make sure that they don't get to evade the law. Because for some reason, murder for them is not murder for a civilian. They get all these excuses made up for them, and they get protected by other people in their department, and so they get to continue evading punishment. But yet people can go to jail for tax evasion. I feel like Black people are brainwashed into thinking that cars, jewelry, houses, and shoes are things that make life great, and they're distractions to us from becoming financially stable. So we need to start investing our money and saving our money instead of investing in things that are temporary. You know, I just feel like white ghostwriters literally sit in the studio and write lyrics about money, women, cars, and jewelry to try to influence the Black community to think that that's what we should be thinking about. And it's honestly, it's a good brainwashing tactic, because when you hear toxic information coming from somebody that looks like you kind of start to believe that that's okay when it's not. Where can we go? I honestly do not want to be in the United States any longer. I am fed up with the go back to your country comments that we receive on a weekly basis, And I honestly want to say, first of all, it's not a country. Africa is not a country. And then second of all, I want to say which country, because there are no records of our kidnapping. We can't retrace our lineage back to any specific country. Thanks to you guys. It just seems as if we were brought here for personal gain, used physically and emotionally until we were absolutely drained, and then discarded afterwards. This is narcissistic behavior, and white privilege is one of the most toxic forms of narcissism. The three main stages of narcissistic treatment are identifying your subject, using them for personal gain, then discarding, devaluing, and letting them go. And this has become a cycle. Identify the subject, use them for personal gain, discard them when you're done. And they do that with every minority group. The constant disregard for Black women needs to end yesterday. Black men need to protect Black women with the same energy that Black women protect Black men with. I don't care who you want to date. I don't care who you want to impregnate. But when it comes to Black women, and if you were birthed by a Black woman, you need to respect her. You need to not say anything demeaning that generalizes or makes fun of Black women and their features. Because you know what? They want division among us. And so if they see that we are together and any issues that we are having, we're discussing them amongst each other instead of posting them for the world to see, they're not gonna like that. They don't like when they see us together.
I don't like women with my complexion. I like light-skinned women. I want you to be lighter than me. I love African-American women, but I just don't like my skin complexion.
Okay. Well, I like your skin complexion.
We too gutter. Black people, my complexion, we too gutter. Light-skinned women, they most sensitive, you know?
There's some dark-skinned women out here sensitive.
No.
If you want to be with a lighter woman, if you want to be a colorist, then be that. But you don't need to talk down on darker-skinned women. You don't need to make fun of African features. Just date white women and mind your business. From my research and what I've gathered about the murder, the cop that was digging his knee into Mr. Floyd's neck had prior knowledge of Mr. Floyd's existence. And so if you know anything about law, you know something about intent to kill. And so I watch a lot of law shows, and basically what intent to kill is holds more weight in terms of getting years, because they knew each other and because they worked at the club together. If you knew somebody before the murder, that gives you a reason to have beef with them. And so if they kill you, then they're like, okay, this wasn't an isolated incident, and because they had prior knowledge of each other, there may have been an issue before. They can hopefully justify that this was purposeful and he had prior issues with him. I think it's sad that I'm kind of waiting for the moment when they find something on Mr. Floyd, and I feel like they're gonna dig into his past and just find anything to try to dehumanize him. Because it seems like as soon as that person dies, they try to justify their death. And they're also trying to say that he died because of his pre-existing conditions. A counterfeit $20 bill, paper and ink. A counterfeit $20 bill, cigarettes, a CD, a toy gun, a hairbrush, a cell phone. Where a young woman and a young man were getting tased and pulled out of their car, and the glass to the windows were smashed. They manhandled the woman, and the young man was tased multiple times, and it just seems like there's no regard for Black lives at all. We're definitely not treated as humans, and we are not superhumans. It has got to end. And the animosity and the beef that we have going on between Black men and Black women needs to end. So that's all I wanted to say. If you'd like to start a discussion in the comments, we can do that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.